Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, October 28th. We have jobless claims this morning. Watch that GDP number that's coming out. I think that could really set us swing the markets. I think that could be a pretty decent market mover here this morning, and all that comes out early in the morning. If you're not sure what is on the economic calendar, please go into our market news channel. It has every morning I post a link to this earnings, overnight movers, acquisitions, insider trades, upgrades, downgrades, initiations, Fed speaker. I mean, my goodness, it's all packed in there. Go look at it. And at the very bottom of the list, they tell you all of the earnings, what's before the bell, after the bell, the big earnings for the week. Go look at it. There's no reason to not know what is going on in the market, because it is posted every single day that I'm here. All right, so here's a look at the SPY. So we had a nice little pullback here yesterday. Really, so we opened up in a pretty decent spot and kind of pushed up a little bit. But what is interesting is we were watching those ticks, and they weren't really great. They were just kind of on the positive side of neutral. They were positive, but very lukewarm. And the VIX started to climb up, and that was our cue that we're gonna, something wasn't quite right. So we sold off a little bit. But when you look at the overall, right, we didn't hit new highs in the SPY yesterday. We did in the Qs, but look at this. We're coming right back in. We're not even back to the 8. We've had several days with, I don't know, if you look at the SPY. Well, let me pull over the SPY, because this is really important. And I know when you're going through and you have an individual trades, you're like, oh my God, this is like the worst thing in the world right now. But it's not. It really isn't. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green candles out of out of 11, and we have 1, 2, 3. I think 4 gaps. I'm not sure if this is a gap. This one looks like there may be a smidge of a gap left in there. Definitely 3, maybe 4 gaps in this hike up. So it is not a surprise that we're taking profits. We have tons of earnings out this week. Most of the S&P is reporting between this week and next week. Pretty much all of it will have reported. Tonight after the bell, we have Amazon and Apple. I will definitely be glued to some of those Apple earnings. Right, so we have all of this coming in, and we've been selling off a lot of the good earnings. A few not, that have been exceptions to that. We're going to talk about Microsoft, Google, some of those really well. But one thing I think that is hurting a lot of our earnings is that forward forecast. What is moving, especially with all of these spending packages, the potential tax framework that we're looking at. There's so much uncertainty that it makes sense that we are just taking a little bit of a break, see how it shakes out, get the rest of these earnings out. I think tomorrow will be a little bit easier to trade, even though it's a Friday. I think it'll be a little bit easier to trade simply because we have so many of those big names out of the way and looking forward. So, okay, so here's the SPY. We also saw a pullback, in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, another, it's funny, people kind of forget this part of the move, and all they remember is this part. This very likely could be setting up to me, if I were to draw this out, it looks like a bull flag. We've used the 20 here. We're coming right back in. We're holding some crucial levels here. I think Bitcoin definitely worth a watch for a day trade. You can look at Coin, BITO, HUT, Mara, Riot, BT. There's a bunch of them out there. Take a look, see what fits your risk profile. I will probably look more at Coin. I really like that one. It is a bit more expensive. But I find that if you're pricing it out, once those bid and ask come nicely together, it's a little bit easier to trade. So, okay, Bitcoin there. And lastly, I do want to look at the Qs. Yesterday, we put in a new high in the Q. So this is the Q futures. We're looking to pump up here a little bit more today. We didn't put in an inside candle yesterday. A lot of our price action happened inside the day before. Today, we're right inside here. And yesterday you can see that our selling actually turned out to be a bit greater, green candle, but our selling turned out to be a bit greater than our buying, which really sets us up for some nice new trades. So after the bell, Amazon and Apple both report. Probably find some day trades in here today. Apple yesterday, my goodness, I swear I'm on a breakup with it because we're on a break. Until it can hold over that stupid 150. It'll tap over it, it'll flirt with it, apparently go on some nice long walks on the beach with it, but then it always retreats. So watch Apple. The 150 is really a crucial spot there. Amazon here is trading up. It's still inside yesterday's candle. It's at 34.12 here this morning. Probably some day trades in there as well. Would not hold that through earnings. Okay, now ones that have had earnings doing well. Microsoft really strong yesterday. Obviously lots of volume post earnings. Looking for continuation. Anything over yesterday's close. These are all in December. I'm looking at the 320s there in Microsoft. HLT reported, and I don't know what they said in that call, but apparently Wall Street liked it. Going into those earnings, we kind of started to build this up. We used the 20, but we built this up. Moving on, again, looking for a move above yesterday's close at the 145. Now watch those because you want to make sure that they that the bid and ask come together. If the bid and ask is really wide and you really feel like that's the trade you want to take, bid it in, right? Don't hit a market, don't take it on the ask, go with the bid, make it come to you so that you are not overpaying. The reason the bid and ask is wide is because that there is less liquidity, usually a little bit less volatility, and the market makers have priced them that way so that they make their money because, well, that's their job. Okay, ENPH moved really nicely off of their earnings. I'm in JKS, but this whole sector actually looking pretty good here, continuing this morning. Here's another one, anything over yesterday's close. Now, I'm not going over the highs of yesterday. I'm going over yesterday's close for a test of the highs and then a push, the 220s. Again, make sure some volume comes into those. XLNX chips did actually quite well yesterday. NVIDIA got a beautiful upgrade. A lot of these have these longer wicks simply because we had an overall market pullback. But XLNX has just been a beautiful climber here. Take a look at this one, the 190s, again, over yesterday's high for a push to the, over yesterday's close for a push toward the high. And another thing, the trades, those quick day trades that work really early in the morning, if you're looking to maybe move a little slower, one thing I would suggest is wait for the first hour of trading because that is really, that 10:30 mark seems to be a good indicator of how the rest of the day is going to go. Okay, electric vehicles. I'm going to talk about Tesla here in a minute, but XPEV, right? So we've put in this nice little wedge pattern today coming back in. And it doesn't have to be XPEV. You can look at NEO. That one pulled back a bit more. Lee. A lot of these pulled back, looking for reversal trades in these, but I like XPEV probably the best. They have really good options. They're very reasonably priced. So take a look at that. We do have earnings coming up, so it would not be a super long play. But take a look at the 50s in XPEV. Tesla, people took profits. Yesterday, Mark was out, so Tesla just said, nah, there's no reason really for me to play. So gave us this big old, not a great, not a great candle. But today coming right back in, it held some really good levels. And overall, look at that. We still open and closed higher than the previous day, right? So that's a good sign, even though it has those really long, wicks at the top there. But keep an eye on this, possibly just a day trade in Tesla for the move back up to the top side. I think if I look, yeah, this morning it's already it's just shy of 1070. And I'll redraw these lines. 1074.90 was the area that we were really watching yesterday, see if it could get up above, and it couldn't. So we'll keep an eye on that here for tomorrow, or for today. See what it does. NUE, infrastructure. The president's going to speak about a framework for spending. Today we'll see if we get a little love off of this. Still like it. We did put in a red candle. We're staying above the 50 though. And let me get this line out of here because I don't really care for this one as much anymore. It's over this 110.20 mark that I will be looking at NUE. I'm already in LAC, which is lithium. But NUE in the basic materials, like the look in this chart in particular, and earnings are out of the way. New, I would take a look at the 115s. Oh, when we were looking at chips, should have come back here, taken a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA had a really nice day yesterday, did close downside like a lot of our tech. We considering how well the Qs were up like 0.8% at one point, and we closed up, I don't know, like less than $1. This is ridiculous. All of the sell-off, we still stayed nicely inside the previous day candle here. So I actually like NVIDIA up above about 247 here. And I would take a look at the NVIDIA 250s. They did get upgrades, but of course they did, because, you know, after all the good news, that's when they get the upgrades. And then kind of a weird one popped up on the list here. AAPL had this nice big run, bullish gap, pulled back, but actually look at that. We came in and pushed right back up into this smaller little island that we have up here. We do have earnings imminently, and it's a pharmaceutical, so you know those can be very, very finicky. But I like the look in the 32s here in AUPH, as long as we hold I would say yesterday's open. Okay, that is it for me here this morning. If you have any questions, reach out. Heather C, GivingTreeTrading.com, and remember to watch out for those initial earnings and that GDP number to see if we get a big market move. All right, that's it. I'll see you soon.